Yes, sir. What's poppin'? It's your boy, D-Boy Henry, heck back at it with another video talking about the Steam machine, the GameCube. I said game, I mean GameCube, whatever you want to call it, that was dropped on our head tops, and a lot of the dust is starting to settle regarding the device. A lot of people got think pieces out and speculatory videos. And before I get off into it, appreciate you clicking on the video. Hope you stay throughout the whole thing. Drop a like, drop a comment, drop a subscribe if you want to. Now let's get busy. A lot of things have come to light. Well, I won't even say come to light, you know what I mean? Because it's just speculation. Valve themselves hadn't really gone into any type of detail as far as what the people really want to know, and that is dollar bill. Y'all, they want to know how much this thing is gonna cost. You know what I mean? Because initially, one of the big hang-ups on the thing was, the power. How powerful is this thing? And Valve spoke to this. It's more powerful than what 70% of the individuals are using. Okay, they got the data. Yeah, I mean, you can do a deep dive into it if you want to. I don't think this is something they lie about. Yeah, I mean, if it was a lie, it's a pretty petty lie, so I don't think they would lie about it. And that is big, you know what I mean? Especially within that community. And it would seem to me that this is the community they are targeting, the Steam community. Individuals inside of there who would very much like to upgrade, or maybe you don't want it, you don't really care to upgrade, but the price to value proposition is so good, you just gonna do it because it's an easy transition. Steam OS, people have been shouting from the rooftops inside of the handheld PC community about how great it is and how much it poo-poos on what Microsoft's trying to do. You know what I mean? So inside of that bubble, inside of that sphere, Steam gonna kick tail. They gonna eat whatever lunch Microsoft is planning to take out on the lunch break. You know what I mean? That's gonna be, because it's just nothing great, nothing amazing, nothing, alluring about what they're offering over there at Microsoft to speak of. Because you can just get one of those systems and then just throw Steam OS on there. You know what I mean? Go through that initial friction of having to do it, and then you good to go. You are good to go. The Microsoft situation, of course you can do more. But if you're just trying to game, who gives a darn if you're just trying to game? And even on the Steam machine, you can still do PC stuff because it is a PC, which they had harped on. It's a PC, not a console. It's not a Steam console. It's a PC. And that's one of the things they also touched on as far as a tidbit or breadcrumb as far as how it's going to be priced. But one thing people skip over regarding the price, they focus on entry level PC, it's gonna be $1,000. That's not necessarily true. It's not a guarantee. There was a popular YouTuber who put out some information about, he brought up a specific price point, and the vibes in the room were all of a sudden off. The vibes changed, the energy had shifted, and nobody looked happy about the price point he brought up, which, bro, all right, so YouTubers are reading tea leaves now. They miss Cleo calling me now. That's what they doing now, and that's what a lot of people are kind of ripping and running with. And a podcast I had listened to kind of brought this up, but then they got to talking amongst themselves about what it also could mean, because there are such things as mini PCs. There's a Mac Mini, and pretty much all of these manufacturers have a mini version where it's not stupid cheap as far as like $200-300. You probably could find one at that price point, but there's a lot of them are sub $1,000. So they could be speaking to that crowd, because it does fit the mold of, comparatively a mini PC. when you holding up against what a traditional gaming machine would be stature wise. You know what I'm saying? And again, like, it's all speculation. We don't know nothing. My personal guess about how much this thing gonna cost, I'm gonna rock with like $549, $600. You know, a lot of people are running up to 1,000 plus, and individuals are, you know, speaking to, oh, it's gonna be a flop. And in the flop conversation from a console gamer, it's not, it's different. You know what I mean? When it comes to, you know, what's inside of this thing, a phrase that was tossed out was, Valve is getting AMD's trash, you know, because the chips are old, and more than likely, since they're buying we don't know the quantity, but they probably picking up a decent amount of these things and getting a bulk price. So you also, not only are you getting a bulk price, they're also older, you know. And on the one hand, that is a scary thing going into it, because you're getting dated tech. You're getting new dated tech. You know what I mean? So you're not really future-proofed in a way. And you really don't know, people really don't know if this thing will be something that will be upgradable aside from the storage. You know, people are wondering if the VRAM will be, you know, expandable. Could be, we don't know. You know, there might be some informations or whispers or murmurings that say it ain't. You got the 8 and you stuck with the 8, and it is what it is. But again, we don't know. Just something we have to wait on as far as, you know, tangible information. But Valve isn't paying what you paying as an individual. So if you go out, try to put together a build, and you buy a component, whatever you paying for that component, Valve is not paying that for that component. They're getting a bulk price because they're buying in bulk. Like, you go to Sam's Club, you get a fucking 100 pack of Doritos. You break it down, you're gonna be paying less per bag than if you would just go to Walmart or Ingles or Piglet and the Wiglet and pick up one bag. You know what I mean? You're gonna be paying more if you're just getting the one. Simple. So that's something I also believe will bring the overall price down. There were, you know, people had put together a theoretical price of how much Valve is spending building this thing. The number was $425. So if that number is true, I don't think this thing, you're not gonna see this thing at no $400. I didn't believe that shit was gonna be like that cheap. No way. $400 is pretty. That's cheap. You know what I mean? That is dirt cheap. You know. So it just really depends on how much they want to make back, and if they're willing. Because when it came to the Steam Deck, a lot of people were speculating it costing a lot more than it actually costed at release. It was way cheaper than people thought it was going to be. Well, I won't say way cheaper. It was cheaper than what people thought it would be. And Gabriel himself said that, you know, that price point that they end up selling that hurt. Whether that means they sold it at a loss, whether that means they weren't going to make the amount of money that they wanted to make on it, and they had to settle for a smaller number. We don't know. You know what I mean? We just don't know. You know, and of course people have done, you know, little fun builds of building this thing that, you know, is as performative as this Steam Deck, building this thing that is performative as the new Steam machine. People have already done those builds, you know, and put together their own price points. But that leads back into what I had said previously about, you know, what it would cost as far as you buying it versus what Valve buying it for is different. And, you know, overall the conversation is interesting, but there's a portion of the console community that is kind of harping so much on, they're harping more on the price, and that being a reason of the quote unquote flop, because it costs more than the PS5, quote unquote, but will be less performative than the PS5. So it's stupid, it's a waste of money, it's not buying. The thing is, in my opinion, if they are targeting PC people and people who want to get into PC gaming without the friction of dealing with a PC, then those people might not give a fuck. You know what I mean? If you're on PC already and you just want a box in your living room and it's cheaper than buying another of what you just bought, you might not give a fuck. If you're a guy or gal and you just want to get into PC gaming and you don't want to deal with the nonsense, the PC-ness of PC gaming, you might not give a fuck. You know what I mean? If it's some people, I mean, everybody got their number. Some people $700 they'll buy it. Some people $800 they'll buy it. The number where it gets to where people are like, oh no, this is definitely no, it's that $1,000. You know what I'm saying? They not finna spend no $1,000. Me, I'm in between 6-7. You know what I'm saying? I would prefer 500, 549. You know what I'm saying? But 6-7, okay, I can make that work. You know what I'm saying? We can figure something out. You feel what I'm saying? We can, you know what I'm saying, work something out, because that control, in my opinion, that controller cool as fuck, and it look comfortable than a bitch. And I'm trying to get my gyro on there because I'm trying to be a gyro monster. And obviously I can do that on my PlayStation 5. Obviously I can do that on my PlayStation Portal. You know what I'm saying? But again, there's some games that just aren't coming over. It is what it is. And if I can jump over here and partake in those games, I'm gonna do it. You know, because even with the Nintendo Switch 2, the price of the Nintendo Switch 2 was not the issue. The issue is I don't believe their games are worth $70 and $80. It is what it is. That's just my belief. You might believe that, you might enjoy it, more power to you. I'm not finna get Nintendo $80 for shit. That aside. But at the end of the day, you know, it's not uncommon for gamers to own multiple consoles, multiple ways to play games. And it's weird that now you either have to be over here or over there. Like you have to either fully commit, and you know, me and a couple of homies inside of the Discord, we like, oh man, when this game box come out, I'm gone. I'm out of here. You know what I mean? But that don't mean I'm not gonna be playing my PS5. That don't mean I'm not gonna be on my portal on the back. But that don't mean it don't mean none of that. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that are alluring about this thing. And just because some things are alluring about this thing, it don't necessarily mean I'm chucking my console out the window or listing it on Facebook Marketplace. That don't mean that. I can play both places. An individual can play. We've done this for generations. We played on PlayStation and Xbox. We played on Xbox and PC. We played on Nintendo and PC. We played on Sega and Nintendo. We've done this. But only now we're in this weird time of either the Steam machine will be a console killer and that's where you're gonna be at, or the Steam machine is nothing. It's garbage. It's a flop. It's a fart in the wind. And they tried this before, and you know, people didn't want it then. They not gonna want it now. And you know, why would you want this? It's less powerful and it's more expensive. First of all, you don't know that. Nobody knows that. Because I do believe that. It's just my belief. I believe this whole thing is just set up for the next video, which will read, Valve took my advice. Cap bold print. And then that video gonna run and do hundreds of millions of views. You know, when the price come out and it is at that number or close to that number. But you can be a gamer and enjoy both. You don't have to be on one side of the fence unless you want to. That's cool. That's your business. But to a lot of people, I won't even say a lot, but to some people, this shit look cool. We're not finna sit up here and act like when this announcement came out, nobody paid attention. When this announcement came out, people just look over their shoulder for a second and say, man, some people did, sure. There's even some PC people who are like, man, I'm not getting it. I already have something better. But this is fucking cool. As a console guy, I'm a console guy. It's some alluring shit going on over here. This tickled my fancy in a couple of ways, brother. Especially with that controller, bro. Fuck it. That controller is where I'm at, bro. I'm fucking with it. Left and right, front and center. You know what I'm saying? Like the headset, the VR, not so much. But these things can exist side by side in the same home, in the same living room, in the same game room, office, study, wherever. It don't have to be one or the other. It don't have to be. I know, you know what I'm saying, console wars are over. It was a good time. It was a good run. A lot of good jokes were tossed to and from. And a portion of me believes that, you know, it's just a lot of that extra leftover energy that doesn't have anywhere to be put is put here, which is cool. I'm with it. I'm for it. I'm for that action, but we gotta be real. We gotta be real about the situation. No need in being dishonest about certain things. No need in taking certain whispers and rumors and confirmation biases. Is that a word? Is that the word? Confirmation biases and running off with it. When we can just wait. The numbers are coming. They are coming. Brothers and sisters, boys and girls, homies and homettes, fellas and fellettes, they gonna let us know. They gonna tell us. Here soon, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? Especially this thing, because it's gonna be a pre-order situation. Gonna be. And I do hope a lot of this hatred on this box ain't coming from a place of fear. I do hope that. Do hope that's not the case. That would be crazy. Because PlayStation got its place. They've solidified. It is what it is. This thing is not gonna come out and touch. It's not gonna touch nowhere near what PlayStation touched. It's not even gonna touch nowhere near where Xbox touched. This bitch might do 10 million lifetime. You understand what I'm saying? Lifetime. But if this thing come out and do 10 million, 9 million, sure, from a console perspective, from a PlayStation perspective, that's a flop. But for Valve, to act like that'll be a flop for Valve, craziness. The Valve is not beholden to hit the same numbers that PlayStation is. They not on a hardware level. They not. This joint can pop out and do 6, 7. And Valve gonna be happy with it. You gotta look at what Steam did for them as far as the market that they interested in. Going from 1% to 3%. That's big for them. This box, this box gonna put them at 5% for sure. Rest assured, they're gonna be at 5%. It's gonna happen. And if you don't tell, man, if you want to sit here and tell me the boys and girls ain't gonna be happy with that, man, they're gonna be leaping for joy. There's gonna be champagne and confetti and cake and all type of other shit over there inside the Valve office over there. You just gotta have a look at it in a different kind of way, because again, it's not a console. It offers a console-like experience, but it's a PC. It's a PC, and it looked cool. The announcement was cool. I'm here for it, and I'm fucking excited. I'm ready to hit a pre-order on that bitch. I am. That's all I got for you right now. Then held y'all too long already. Drop a like, drop a comment, drop a subscribe. All the stuff. Do all the things for the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate you for coming through. I'll catch y'all outside the next one.